Okay, we ready then?
Johnny Vaughan. Radio.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Johnny Vaughan 4 till 7 Fang podcast. Just to show we all turn up for this. Sunta, are you there?
Hello.
Where are you now?
Here
Where's here?
in the studio.
Are you, though? Because your voice sounds different.
I am.
Your bit wasn't recorded later and you've now added it into the gaps.
Of course not, John.
How can we prove that?
By moving closer to the microphone.
Now, how can we prove it, though?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Because they can... What? They can...
What?
No, but they can... No, they can't prove it. Gav, are you here?
I'm right here.
But how can you prove that?
By being really close to here.
I know, but you can't prove it properly. I mean, I could be back at home doing this down the phone line.
Anyone with a pair of ears can tell I'm here.
What if I haven't got a pair of ears? Okay, Little Cy becomes Slim Boy Slim. We discuss embarrassing corporate events, and there's some very sexy van chat. Actually, there's loads of good stuff. There's Martin's Hot Tap. There's a piece on stuff. There's lots of really good things.
Stick to the script.
That is the script. The script ends with the words, that was ... That's how much script I've got, Santa. Before you start giving it the big un, comrade.
What's this Santa suddenly?
Because I call you that when you're more being really like an old commie.
Comrade Santa.
Yeah, an old sleazy socialist. There's nothing more sleazy than an ex-communist. Look at Derek Hatton. It's really odd because in front of me I've got this. I've got like a computer screen, and it's a touch screen.
Yeah.
And I can see all these things come up, but it's really weird because in front of me, if I've just got this big button on the screen that I can press, it just says Brian May bed. And I just suddenly think if I press it and it sort of disappears at his house.
Yes.
Or just tips up and sends him somewhere.
Or even in the studio here, just the whole wall comes down and Brian May's in a bed.
Lives in the studio, yeah. Hi, guys. There's Brian May on a bed of badgers. Yeah, anyway, Brian's coming up. I'll give him a full psychological examination in this show. You're not going to believe what you will believe what I've come up with. You know what's really weird is this machine's a touchscreen. And in the studio that used to be here where I worked for like 9 years, I used to touch the buttons on it, and the things used to happen. And then I had a different operator one week, and I was touching the buttons. I couldn't work out why nothing was happening. They said, it's not a touch screen. I've been touching the screen for a whole year.
These ones you don't even have to touch. You just have to go near them.
Because the operator just was doing it anyway, and I thought all the time I've been operating everything, and I hadn't just been using like a manual pad.
Yeah,
I really thought I was really getting slick. So it's amazing. I just go near it, just tap him. He was just operating away. Okay, here you go. I promised you earlier the world's most pushiest ever bride. This is so rude. It's unbelievable. The sending of a thank you card after a wedding is a venerable tradition for a bride and groom. But get this. These guests to a wedding, emailing a guest to criticise the size of their gift is not good etiquette.
I read this story. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
A woman who attended the wedding of a former colleague gave the couple, she gave them the wedding present a cheque for £100.
Yeah.
Right, she gave them, I admire the fact she's got a checkbook, actually. It's just inconvenient.
That's very analogue, isn't it?
No, it really is. I got sent a cheque the other day as like a refund for something, and I was like, what do I do with this? I don't know. Do I go to a...
Push it into your phone, don't you?
I don't know. I literally don't know the procedure anymore.
Same as a postal order.
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Anyway, she later received an email, this woman who sent £100, from the bride and groom, suggesting it wasn't generous enough.
What?
Yeah, they actually replied back saying that's just.
That is rude.
Well, Gav, you read it.
I have.
She says the guest has not been named. She's posted a story on Mumsnet forum with the username Puzzled and Off.
Yeah.
And she wrote, last night I received an email which opened with a few comments about how glad they were to see everybody, how generous they'd been. But then they've obviously added the personalised paragraph.
This is the bit that got
standard
me.
letter. It's something that I hate that bit when you receive things. And it says, Dear Johnny. And it's written in a different font.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you are such a good customer.
Yeah.
Johnny. And it's in it's slightly higher and bold. Anyway, it says here, we were surprised your contribution didn't seem to match the warmth of your good wishes on our big day.
What does that mean?
It means she looked like she's having a cracking time and they want more than £100 back from her.
That's
I didn't
terrible.
realise that there was like more than £100 price tag on going to a wedding.
And also, I didn't realise you could haggle after a wedding.
No.
Yeah.
in view of your own position, if you wanted to send any adjustment, it would be thankfully received.
I would adjust it. I'd take the check back.
You bounce it. No. She checked. They'd already cashed it.
She'd already cashed it before complaining.
But the woman wrote that she'd recently. This is why they've said it, because they knew she'd recently received an inheritance.
Oh, that's just.
And they were
worse,
obviously thinking we could bound to get more from her.
That's obviously the only reason they invited her to the wedding, then, isn't it?
It would be.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
They speculated the couple may have known this and expected a larger gift. Describing her former workmate, the woman who's retired said she was a bit what might you call pushy as a colleague, but nothing that would suggest something like this. That's so rude.
That's
mind
ridiculous.
you, Gav, did you get any good wedding gifts?
I can't remember. Yes, I did. Of course I did.
I got some right old crap though. And you know what? Yeah. And I was really. I don't know. I just send them back now, but there's a few people I did feel like saying I did definitely buy you a better present than that. I did really feel like I'd been quite generous. Yeah, and I was like, is this it?
Do you remember what you two got each other as wedding
What
gifts?
did you get me?
Can't remember.
Because you didn't get me anything and you didn't invite me to your wedding because there's only 40 of you.
That is
You
actually,
and your brother turned up at my wedding.
That is actually
You ate,
true.
drank, and be merry for 2 nights. 2 nights they had on me. 2 nights, Sunta.
Sorry.
And I can tell you now, I've got them on video, that both of them hammered and really enjoying the food and everything like that. I didn't get an invite to either of their weddings. And they said, well, John, it's very small, it's very intimate.
Gav, I think you owe Johnny a £100
No,
check.
you owe me
I do,
a check
yeah.
for 100 quid. Absolutely.
I do.
Damn right you do. No, it's just bloody rude. South Africans. So some of it funny. I'm not saying you should go back or anything, but I'm just saying it's bloody rude. Hello there.
Hiya, Johnny.
All right, matey, what's your name?
It's John.
John, you sent us this text in. It stunned the crew. Please tell us your story. You were at this wedding and...
Yeah, a friend of mine at the wedding received an email after the event saying that there'd been damage to the venue.
Okay.
And they needed £100 off everybody to cover the venue.
Okay.
The damage to the venue.
Okay. And had it been a wild wedding or...
Not particularly.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So everyone receives an email saying there's been damage to the venue.
This has got to be more than 30 people, probably as well. Yeah.
Everyone. So they need 100 quid from everyone. Go on.
So a friend of mine phoned the hotel and asked and queried the damage, to which they said there's been no damage whatsoever.
And it turns out,
in terms of
yeah.
And it turned out that the bride and groom hadn't received enough money to go on their honeymoon, so they were looking for a bit of extra.
No! Yes! They're literally having a whip round. That's
Exactly.
we can't name names, but
No.
and what was the reaction amongst guests? I mean, you must have all communicated with each other, and did everyone sort of say, "Don't send the cash"?
No one's spoken to them since.
And it all ended happily ever after.
Lovely story.
It's a lovely story, John. And what happened at the end? No one has spoken to them since. There we go, John. Thank you so much for coming on and getting through that so quickly. And thanks for your text. And take care, matey. Have a good weekend. Cheers.
Ta-da, mate.
Oh, man. Good story or what?
That's shocking.
Yeah, but I like that. No one has spoken to them since.
X. This is Radio X.
I've sussed out Brian May.
How?
I find it really... Because I saw Queen when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I say I've got nothing against Brian May. As soon as I hear that guitar, I sort of have. He built his first guitar with his father. He has a PhD in astrophysics, I think.
Yeah.
He plays it using a sixpence as a plectrum. These are things we know about Brian
And he
May.
loves badgers.
He loves badgers. But I've sussed out why.
Why?
I've sussed out Brian May. Brian May says he's being forced out of his home in Kensington. He lives in the most ridiculously expensive road on earth. I think nearby, the house went just nearby there for 42 million.
Wow.
It's like ridiculous. You know, it's just mad. But everyone's digging these houses out and going like 5 stories down.
Yeah, for their car collection or...
And swimming pools, like leisure centres.
Yeah.
One guy built a shopping mall.
Yeah.
Chinese businessman. It's called the Great Mall of China. He's built it under his house. I'm lying. Anyway, Brian May says he's being forced out of his home in Kensington by construction work on a never-ending series of basement extensions that have turned the exclusive London area into, he quote, a hellhole. Believe if you go there, it's not a hellhole. Brian, let me take you around Britain.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of building work going around everywhere.
Okay, here's the deal. Do you know why he complains about building? Do you know why? Because he does bugger all during the day. builders.
He's a musician, yeah.
He's a musician. Well, he's not even, he doesn't even do that, but the point is he's just at home all day. And that's when builders have to work, Brian.
Yeah.
Go in any house, go in any road, people are building extensions, doing things. You can be woken up by...
That's right, yeah.
Everyone is woken up by building work. It continues throughout the day, Brian. It's just most people aren't at home during the day. That's the point. What you got to do, Brian, is get a job. Go and do something, and it won't affect you. Because I can tell you now, they're not digging basements at night.
No.
Right. Point 2. Who does dig at night? Badgers.
Yes.
So what Brian's doing, yeah? He likes badgers because he thinks they're natural diggers.
Right.
And they're nature's diggers, whereas what he sees around him is unnatural daytime digging, and he likes nighttime natural digging.
And so he doesn't dig it.
So he's projecting, he's reverse projecting, retro projecting his anger at daytime builders into a love of badgers, into a disproportionate love of badgers. Because it's the only way he could channel his hatred, because he's such a nice man. He can't carry hate in his soul that much. So his loathing for these wealthy basement people.
I'm trying to picture him having a quiet brunch and reading a book that he really wants to read.
And just, it's worth going around his house with a pneumatic drill, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just being outside and just seeing the effect of it on Brian's webcam. Say, everyone be quiet for an hour. And let's just watch him relax. Yeah. Let's only... Just look around, and then just shoving a badger through his letterbox. Anyway, the point is Brian, you got to stop projecting that anger onto badgers, who he loves. You really have. I mean, it's not gonna. I love what you've done, but we've sussed you, mate. That's your psychological profile. Take it.
Radio X.
Okay, it's time for your favourite weekly feature. Hang on. Martin in the Radio X office has had a broken hot tap in his kitchen. He's had that tap. It's been broken for over 2 years. I asked him about it. I said, why don't you fix it? He goes, because I've got better things to do. I actually have got better things to do. He shouted at me, which I don't mind. But it did inspire our feature. Martin's hot tap. He needs a brand new one. But he can't be asked to get it done. Ba-da-da-ba. Martin's hot tap. Been broken for so long. But what haven't you fixed that went wrong? Okay, here's one for you. My back fence lock fell off. It would take 5 minutes to screw it back on, Johnny. Instead, I've opted for a loop of rope to hold it closed for 5 years. That's John from Glasgow. John, we admire you. Gav?
Mick in Eton says... Can't be asked. My downstairs bathroom door handle has needed fixing for about 3 years.
Good man.
There is a technique to open it. So
I love it when things require a technique.
Yeah. So I haven't bothered. However, any visitors get trapped and can be heard knocking to be let out.
That's fantastic. Well done, Mick in Eton. Superb work.
Gareth from Stamford La Hope sent this one in. I hung 2 doors in my lounge last year, although the door frames still need painting, so they're not finished and now don't close properly, mainly because they're held up by 3 screws in each door. The missus nags me every weekend.
Good work, Gareth. And it has no effect. Martin's hot tap. The engine management light came on about 3 years ago on my 16-year-old Freelander. It can still just get to 60 miles an hour until I put the trailer on. Then 35 to 40 is good. Oh, wow. He says, I'm not very popular on the roads. It's fine, though, as long as I avoid hills, which is fine as I live in Cheshire. It still passes MOTs. I just can't be asked to have it fixed. And that's from Farmer Rob. Wow, normally farmers are like real sort of, they sort vehicles out.
They have to,
Really good to me, an apathetic farmer. Nice one, Rob.
I've got every door in the house stripped 7 years ago. Still haven't put the handles back on. My kids still think you open doors by putting your finger through a hole.
Yeah, nice.
That's from Coach Jim.
Russell sent this one in. My watch battery stopped working. I can't be asked to taking it to get fixed. So now I just wear it for show and use my phone to check the time.
Good work. Tremendous.
Johnny Vaughan. Radio X.
Radio X.
Do you know what I've read today? The most embarrassing ever. Have you had embarrassing corporate days out? I've had a few at various radio stations I've worked with where we've gone on corporate things. It's all going to be like team building.
Yeah. And it's just mortifying, isn't
Well,
it?
no, they make it up as they go along, a lot of them. They just sort of have a flip chart and they'll go, we're building a team. What's the first thing we're going to need? And you just say a word. You go things like, Motivation. He goes, motivation. Yeah, I'm going to write that down.
Yeah.
Okay, what's another thing we're going to really need if we're going to build a team?
Yeah. Lunch.
Yeah, you can't say lunch, Gav. You can't. Beer.
Yeah.
No, they don't. They like stupid words. Cohesion. Cohesion, yes. I'll put that down.
You're a bit too good at this.
They'll go, they just make it up as they go along. Anyone can do it. You go, cohesion, yeah. I'm going to put that down, but I'm going to put it in green pen, and I'll tell you why a bit later. And you sort of think, I nearly swore.
So is he getting the audience to do the work there, basically?
Yeah, basically, he goes, what another thing, though? I'm getting a team together, but what am I really looking for in all of you?
Cooperation.
Cooperation, yes, and no.
Oh.
You're thinking, what? What's the key thing we're going to need first?
Unity. Unity.
Unity I like. I'm going to put it down. And you think, I don't know what the word is. I don't know what you want me to say now. We're saying teamy words. We're trying to play. And someone eventually goes, a common goal. Common goal. I'm going to put that at the bottom, and that is in black. And if we have a common goal, what we're going to get? You're thinking, no, that was it. He said it. He said it. Anyway, sorry, I'm being a bit ranty.
Oh, no,
That's
it's really
funny.
taking me back to some awful days.
But basically, you could just do one. You just wait till someone anyone. Just look for someone who you sort of think that's going to be a weird word. And someone will go, it's great when someone gets it wrong. And they sort of say something like resources. Yeah, resources. Yeah, that's good. Anyone else? Friction. They sort of go friction. Yeah. Shared idea. Yes, shared idea. They sort of don't like it. Then someone else will say something quite similar.
Yeah.
An aim. An aim. And they go right to the top.
Oh, and that person's well smug,
and
then.
that's it. Aim. And the person sits back like, I knew it. I'm thinking, well, we've had everything else in the sodding dictionary. That's why you just gone back to A. Anyway, you ready for this?
Go on.
This was in the Financial Times today, which is a difficult day for the papers, but I managed to find this. The story reads, up above the sky was blue and cloudless. On the ground, thousands of people stood facing a stage flanked by screens with a scaffold of lights and cameras on a crane overhead. Loud music thumped. This is a corporate team builder, right?
Right.
It could have been Glastonbury if you didn't look too closely at the crowd, many of whom were in formal jackets and shirts. No one was swaying to the music. They were staring straight ahead, frozen. A few arms were raised, bearing phones. Thus, Siemens chose to tell its staff that henceforth its 120-year-old healthcare division, which makes sensible things like hearing aids and MRI scanners, was to be known as Siemens Healthineers.
That was the event.
Yes, the event. Now get this, yeah? They then pulled out a load of dancers on stage. The Siemens relaunched it as Siemens Healthineers. Yeah, check the lyrics.
Go on.
Reaching out for more, for the best and never alone. One vision, one mission, one focus, one name, one culture, one dream, one team. And it built up to the mighty chorus, we are, we are, we are, we are. Brrrr. Healthineers. And they're trying to get the whole crowd going. They've got a company song about the new company name.
Oh, dear.
It's awful.
Radio X.
Are you goosebump vulnerable?
I am, yes.
I'm quite good. Are you Gav?
I am, yes.
You're goosebumper?
Yeah, they don't lie, do they?
No, goosebumps don't lie. They really don't. Who's saying is that? I always quote it, but I don't know
No
how
idea,
much
but I always hear you saying it, so,
Yes.
and it's true.
No, goosebumps don't lie. And sometimes they can crop up at really embarrassing moments. A bit like your nips. They could, yeah, but they can crop up at really embarrassing moments. You never know. You can be listening to a song and suddenly you sort of say, I hate this one, and you look at your arm. You
What, and it's Celine
Everyone
Dion?
thinks you're a liar. Yeah, right. Exactly right. I better Whitney. Nothing wrong with Whitney. Okay. I've over the years, I've with the kids, when we put on parties for my children, we've had some shockingly bad entertainers. We've had some very good entertainers. The best of which is a really camp Luke Skywalker, who I booked 2 years on the trot because it was about the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And he was brilliant, and the kids loved him. And he's one of the nicest blokes. But God, my God, it was a camp afternoon. My goodness. Anyway, how about this? This is the ultimate children's entertainer. Better than Smarty Arty. Different league. You ready?
Go on.
Guess who played a secret show in his home city to a group of babies and toddlers and their parents? Fatboy Slim.
No.
Yes. The star, real name Norman Cook, played a 2-hour set at a beach party called Baby Loves Disco. And this is what a mensch Fatboy Slim is. This is what a good bloke.
Yeah.
He did it to repay someone, Leslie Woodall, the lady who organised it. Or bloke, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's EY, is that?
No idea.
No idea. Anyway, He agreed to do it because 2 decades ago, the organiser did him a favour.
Right.
And they've called the favour. Hey, I called the favour in.
Yeah.
And
someday I will
hey,
ask
Leslie,
you to do a service
Leslie
for
called
me.
the favour in. Now you're going to do the set. You're going to do the set. So he's done this set. And he goes, it was the ideal way to repay it. It was great fun. But I think, what sort of set does Norman cook?
Play for kids.
Fatboy Slim. Well, do you know what? Luckily, we've got our very own. We don't know exactly what was in the set, but we've got our very own Slim Boy Slim, little Si.
Yeah.
And Slim Boy Slim has put together a bit of a set for you.
Really?
This is Slim Boy Slim, our very own Slim Boy. This is what he suspects was in the set. Hold tight.
Tinky Winky, Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Dipsy, La La.
Hold tight. Here we go.
Octonaut, to your stations.
Well done, little Simon. Very good, little Si.
Nice.
Hold tight.
Kids up and down the country
Just loving that.
suddenly sat up.
We might
didn't they?
institute that. Just to justify Radio X on the school run.
X.
Every day, Gavin does extensive research so that
Yeah.
he can furnish you with a hero.
Hours sitting in front of a microfiche machine at the library.
Is that what you do?
Yeah,
I
do it
thought so.
Old school.
What, you go with microfiche?
Yeah, and
Is that where you...
telexes as well.
Do
Some
you?
faxes I get
Do
from
you
people.
is it true you have to get clearance by telex?
Yes.
You get them to telex. I think someone telexes you from Italy or North Korea.
Malta, actually.
Okay, you get don't because remember we've got the ultimate Malteser here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a hero.
Okay, the hero today, Johnny, is the whole town, 50 people in the town of Keithville in Louisiana.
Is that a real place, Gavin?
It's a real place. This
Okay.
thing happened in 1991.
Okay.
They all gathered around a vet and a game warden who was armed with tranquilizing darts because they needed to rescue a black bear that was stuck very high up in a pine tree.
Okay. How high? Did you say how high?
And, well, pine trees are pretty tall,
They are,
especially
yeah,
in
but I just want to
Louisiana.
know I just want to know when bears sort of think, whoa.
It says it was near the top.
But wait a second.
Go on.
Is there a point when a bear looks down? Do we know and thinks, whoa, I've really bitten off more than I've climbed up. This is too much. I can't handle this now.
I don't know.
Or pour this now.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I don't know what the equivalent is.
Well, anyway, it was stuck up there, and people started bringing sandwiches to make a night of it because they knew they were going to try and rescue it, and they were going to watch them rescue the bear.
They wanted it to fall down, Gav. It's the
Well,
same as going to see
maybe.
Evel Knievel. They're there for disaster.
Extra police were called in. Several wildlife refuges were alerted to receive the animal. As night fell, spotlights and nets were set up.
Nets?
Yep, just in case it fell.
Oh, I thought you meant people to sleep on.
No.
Like big hammocks.
And at first, the animal was quite active. So to calm it down, they used a stun gun with a dart. But obviously,
That's not a stun gun. That's a tranquilizer dart. Stun gun is electric things.
It's written here as stun gun darts.
Stun gun darts?
Yes. Stun gun darts seemed to calm it briefly. So it
Okay.
wasn't thrashing about quite so much.
Yeah.
To the gasps and dismay of onlookers, the bear then panicked and began flapping around quite wildly.
Okay.
After 8 hours...
Have you added anything to this, Gav? Because there's bits
No,
in it
no,
that
no.
almost pretty well exactly your phrases you
I'm reading it
use.
as it's written. After
Okay,
8 hours, there was
But if I
only...
find out you have, I won't mind.
After 8 hours, there was only one option,
What's that? Kill.
to cut the tree down.
No!
Right, so they start... Shortly before sunrise, the crowd watched as they did cut the tree down.
How big's the crowd at this time? Do we know? I mean,
It
is
says 50 people here. So
Okay.
shortly before sunrise, the crowd watched as the team rescued a heavily sedated black dustbin liner from the tree.
No!
It was a bin bag
It was a bin bag.
all the time.
Incredible.
Really?
Yeah, just-
Or had the bear just done
Just
that?
flapping in the wind. It just
Oh,
looked like a bear
man.
up there.
Gav, there's a sense of disappointment here.
Oh, I love that story.
No,
it was just
I
a
really
bin
wanted,
liner.
No, I wanted the bear to come down and like suddenly charge at someone and take their sandwiches and stuff.
If there was nets and police and they brought down a bin liner, wouldn't you laugh?
Yeah,
A
but
sedated bin liner?
I know, but by this time I got into the whole bear thing. I was sort of thinking how he feels. You know, I'm quite a sensitive chap. I'd already thinking, how does he feel? What's he thinking? How does he feel? You know?
Keithville, Louisiana.
Keithville, Louisiana. We're disappointed it wasn't a bear, but we salute you as a town.
Radio X. Johnny Vaughan.
Okay, I've got a good story for you here. We'll be the judge of that. Have you ever been to Finland, any of you guys?
No.
I've not been to Finland, no.
I went to Finland once for a wedding. It's an insane place.
Is it?
So they get 51 days of darkness a year.
Oh, yeah.
As the driver, just after telling us it had a very, very big rate of people topping themselves over there, just as he told us that, quite proudly, he goes, the biggest in the world.
Really?
Yeah, he says, the biggest in the world. And he goes, we have 51 days of darkness.
Total darkness.
And then he sighed and he just went, I get so tired.
He didn't say
He did while he was driving. He just goes, I get so tired. Like this. And I was going back to this thing of, you're talking about these people just, whatever. And he's gone, he's talking about this. And I goes, what's the cause then? Why is it such a high rate here? He goes, it's a lot of divorces. People getting, losing jobs. And I've gone, all right. I said, how'd you become a cab driver here? And he goes, lost my job, got divorced. And I'm thinking, is he just deliberately doing this? Just to sort of... And then he paused again, and then he once again just went, yeah, I get so tired. He just kept saying, I turned around and I said, would you stop talking about how tired you are? I'm off to a wedding.
Bit of a buzzkill, isn't it?
No, he really was killing the buzz. Anyway, I arrived at the hotel, and they did have, around every hotel and everything you do in Finland, they're sauna crazy.
Oh.
Right.
They're a sauna mad nation. There's two things you need to know about Finland. One, there's a lot of goths.
Really?
Unbelievable amount.
Marilyn Manson's.
Yeah, loads. Two, yes, they're really into that. Two, okay, three things you should know about Finland. One, there's a lot of goths. Two, there's a lot of eccentrics that no one bats an eyelid at.
Right.
We were outside the wedding, and there's a guy came past the wedding. I'm not kidding. He's wearing a Formula One motor racing suit. There was no snow around.
Yeah.
He was on skis, shortened skis, yeah?
Yeah.
He had an enormous downhill racer's crash helmet.
Right, the one that goes back over your back.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And he had sort of like a tinsel tail, yeah? And he just came past the church with ski poles, yeah? And no one batted an eyelid. No one said anything. We were like, well, isn't that funny? And they were like, what? What's funny? What?
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 I love
What?
that.
Yeah, no, it was one of the guys who went there. He got the train from Helsinki to where Little Rich got married. He said, yeah, it's really weird because he was trying to find a little compartment on the train. He said in every single compartment there was just goths getting made up for a night out. And he said there was just not one he wanted to take his family into. He said, you just don't want to join goths getting made up. Every single one was just goths like shining their big boots up. Massive heavy shoes like Kiss.
Well, those big Matrix
Yes,
boots.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly right. They're really into the Matrix there. Anyway, I say this as a prelude because the third thing you need to know about Finland is they're mad about saunas.
Yeah.
So, when Skywheel Helsinki, Finland's answer to the London Eye, opened 2 years ago, it was immediately clear to them that something was missing. Many of the Finns who came were asking for a sauna, said Heikki Heija, the general manager. They said, why didn't you have sauna cabins? Which is precisely what they're going to
On
do.
the big wheel.
No.
That's it. It's going to be just a sauna going round.
They're allowed saunas on fairground rides.
Yes. No, but this
Wow.
is as big as the London Eye, and they're going to go around. Next month's oversight will be corrected with the launch of Sky Sauna, the world's first sauna cabin mounted on the observation wheel. There you go. But you look at the London Eye, you don't get on it and think, it's a shame this isn't a sauna. Yeah, that's because we're not in Finland.
Radio X.
Random graffiti, seemingly meaningless. Random graffiti. Why don't you send it in to us? Am I still sounding like Jai from Tarzan?
Tarzan.
Tarzan. It all started when I saw the word lager written in large letters on a wall in Clapham Junction. Then you sent in your examples of odd and often meaningless graffiti. What did you have last week, Suns? The one word. It was as random as lager.
Quinoa.
Oh, quinoa, middle class
yeah.
graffiti. Yeah, you saw quinoa.
Ah.
Great graffiti, Suds. Let us know your random acts of graffiti, please. Text 83936 or you can go to @RadioX. There you go. Gav.
Andrew in Essex sent us, scrawled in chalk in London's East End, chalk is cheap.
Chalk is cheap. Genius. That is just genius.
And he's right.
And also, I'm not recommending people graffiti things, but responsible graffiti is done in chalk. What do we think? Am I doing my...
Well, unless you spray it with some kind of fixative.
No, but they're not going to put a fixant on it, Gav. There's no suggestion of a fixant.
A fixulant.
A fixulant. You're a pathetic individual. What? I don't know. He's just being a really silly man.
Silly.
Tell him to stop it.
Stop it, Gav.
Thank you very much, John. Go on, what you got?
From Bradley, on the subway near Caterham on my way home, graffitied in blue is the word shoes.
Oh, you're kidding me. Shoes. You're now just playing to us now.
Well, it's like a shopping list. We've got lager, quinoa, and shoes.
Shoes, yeah. And chalk.
Yeah.
Okay, this is... I checked into a travel lodge in Blackpool on Thursday, and I found this random graffiti on the spoon in my room. It says, Agar, the Spoon King. Someone's graffitied a spoon.
Someone's really bored.
Go on, Gav.
Chris sent us, hi Johnny and the team. While in Myanmar last week,
Yeah.
where English is not widely spoken, I saw on a pergola,
Pagoda.
Yeah, in a park, in white lettering, simply the word maggot.
Good word.
Willie in Motherwell sent this one on on a wall in Glasgow. 25p for a Freddo with 5 exclamation marks actually there as well.
Yes,
Obviously outraged at the cost of a Freddo.
He's put the exclamation marks, but what's nice is added the exclamation marks aren't actually there. Okay, here's the last one. This is going to be fair. I'll tell you something. If you're driving, you might want to pull over. And also, if you need the loo, you might want to pull over as well. You ready? Oh God, you're not going to believe this.
I've just seen it.
You're not going to believe this. This is Super Sue from Pompey, something I would concur with. She says, hello, I had to laugh when seeing on the back of a lady's toilet cubicle door the thought-provoking question, Dave? Is that you, Dave? Oh,
So
Super
random.
Sue. Super Sue from Pompey. Dave. Is that you, Dave?
Johnny Vaughan. Radio X.
Radio X.
I just mentioned Ford Transit Customs, but such is the beauty of that van. You can't mention it without it causing, frankly. Gav, how would you describe the scene out there in Textland?
Well, it's almost like a romance to a van, isn't it?
It really is. It's a homage. I mean, people just go crazy. It's the van that has caught the nation's
If you
imagination.
drive a van and you've got the transit custom, you tell people.
You tell people, you do.
Yeah.
There's 2 kinds of vans.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But Gav, they are beautiful. Especially got the what's it called the thing at the front. The lip, is it the lip splitter?
Oh, the front splitter, yeah.
The
Well,
front
it's
splitter,
a bit
yeah.
lower. I don't know what the body kit you need
Oh
for
man,
that.
I think it's the Inferno package. You get that.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay, let's have it. So many of you talking about your vans, van love. Oh yeah. I'm in my Transit Custom Limited Edition, Johnny. Full LED lighting, kit in back. Feeling beautiful. That's Nigel in Staines. Needs a wash. The van, that is. Not me.
You great big
Lovely, beautiful man.
Hi, Johnny. I'm in a Transit Custom Moon Dust Silver.
Oh yeah.
Aircon on, driving past lots of inferior vans with their windows down. Obviously hot.
What's he doing?
I'm just chilling. Ha ha. That's from Martin.
You beautiful van. You great big lolly beautiful van. Someone's just texted in here just to say it's baby blue and white.
And someone else has texted in just to say,
Beautiful. Lawrence from Coulson's just texted in. He's just texted in to say, feeling amazing in my Transit Custom.
another number coming in saying, I'm in mine right now and it's gorgeous and it's my life.
Someone texting in here saying, I'm in a new Vauxhall Vivaro, much nicer than the Transit. That's Robbie Guilford. Come on, Rob. You
Come
know
on,
that's
Rob.
not true.
Come on, mate. Just look at the other vans.
Come on, look at the custom. For God's sake, man. Get a grip.
And Gavin says, I'm stuck in traffic on the M25 in a black Transit Custom. But I don't care because it looks good.
Damn good. So damn good. Bet you're feeling real good in your custom. Dressed in your finery. You beautiful van. You great big lolly beautiful van. Now, earlier on in the show, this was after a couple took 44 years to finally get married.
Yeah.
We were talking about very long engagements, and those of you texting in, your heartbreaking stories about lazy men. Thank you very much for that, incidentally, guys. I found it quite moving. Then we moved on a bit to the subject of remarkable Ford Transit customs, because if you're in one, there's two kinds of men, right, Gav?
With customs, without customs.
You know that, bro. You know that, bro. Anyway, we had this text in. Gav.
This is from Martin. He said, I'm in a transit custom moon dust silver aircon on, driving past lots of inferior vans with their windows down, obviously hot. I'm just chilling.
Okay.
Aha.
Okay. So that was a transit text. I've just had a text in now from Pamela, and she says, "Hi, Johnny." And she's talking about that text Gav's just read here. She says, "I thought Martin, chilling in his moon dust silver transit custom, might have mentioned that he's also been engaged for 15 years. No marriage yet, because he bought that bloody van." And that's from Pamela, still working, not driving home yet.
Busted.
Busted. Thank you, Pamela. That was a very, very important detail. It's a really significant detail. Thank you very much. It's nice to know exactly why Martin is so bloody pleased with himself.
Johnny Vaughan.
Radio X. Radio X.
Sunta, in your news, let's get this straight. So let me get this straight.
Yes.
At
UEA, University of East Anglia.
as opposed to the UAE, very different. That's
Yes.
Dubai,
Yes.
it's Abu Dhabi. It's different rules.
Is there a University of Central Anglia?
I don't know.
It's the University of Central Lancashire. That's why I got confused.
Okay.
Okay,
The UEA.
they're not allowed to throw their mortarboards.
No, somebody got injured. A few students have been injured in the past by mortarboards being thrown in that classic. Here's the photo of us all graduating. Throw your mortarboards.
Yeah.
In fact, someone ended up in A&E apparently.
Oh, God.
Okay.
So they've decided to ban it. They've said this year you can pretend that you're throwing your
And
mortarboards.
I think it's really
and they'll
sad.
Photoshop it in afterwards.
Can't they make them a bit more harmless and still let them throw
What,
them?
bend rubber?
Sponge.
I mean, people aren't sharpening them or anything, are they?
No, they could be. You never
make
get
them
that.
out of
They might watch
There's
Peaky,
always one.
They might watch Peaky Blinders.
There's always one who sharpens his mortarboard.
Luckily, little Si went to that university, didn't you,
Yes, he
Simon?
did, yeah.
Now, can you remember any injuries? Did you throw your mortarboard in the air?
No, I did it.
What did you? Is that the most rebellious thing you've ever done?
Did you leap into the air and click your heels together as well at the same time?
No, but Si, is that the most rebellious thing you've ever done? Would you say?
I did it, but I made sure to throw it away from the crowd so there wouldn't be any.
You see what he's
Always
like.
thinking
You
health
see what
and
always,
safety.
he's always thinking of others. He's got the health and he's in the health and safety mindset.
Yeah, he is.
Simon, can you remember anyone getting? I mean, as I say, it's the most rock and roll thing ever in your life, and I know that. I've looked at.
Are they heavy? I've never even held one. Are they heavy?
Not particularly.
We're not as educated as
No.
Si. How heavy are they, Si?
No, they're light. They're really light. They're a bit weird, actually. You got to wear them in a certain position.
What, did you wear yours jauntily?
Yeah.
You rock.
At a rakish angle.
Did you? You fully rock.
I think they're just cardboard covered in fabric.
Okay, so man injured by flying cardboard.
Yeah.
Okay. I think if you get hit by one or injured by one, you should lose your degree. Because evidently, no, I'm just saying because evidently you're not that bright. Do you know what I mean?
X.
This is Radio X.
Okay, you're not going to believe this. This is the worst ever tale of a cancel. Just going, really, I think overstepping the mark.
Okay.
Exactly. Is anyone here who's had good dealings with the council?
No.
Does anyone?
No.
You see, this is my beef. I don't know anyone that has any good dealings with anyone in charge anywhere. I'm not going to start talking about legislative bodies and things, but no, the council were brilliant, actually. No, I phoned the council, got straight through to the department I
They
wanted.
came round the next day.
I think two rings,
it.
I was through. It was absolutely fantastic. And there was a very helpful bloke. I didn't have to fill in any forms, and they came straight round. It was awesome. Couldn't believe it, and they didn't charge me.
Wow.
Absolutely fantastic. They said I didn't even have to pay the parking ticket. The opposite of this guy. Check this. Workman tarmacked around a vehicle left in a car park that was closed for repairs. The motorist also got a parking ticket when he's come back. It was a red Peugeot 207 in West End car park in Chelmsford, Essex. A city council spokesman said, "It's unfortunate that on this occasion, one of the many car park users failed to act on his instructions, and they were issued with a penalty charge notice for causing an obstruction."
PCN.
Yeah, that was it. That was the guy from the council. Council? How about that? I mean, the thing is, what kind of, I was going to use the B word there, but when you're tarmacking round a vehicle,
I know, but they must be chuckling all the way through the job.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't mind I wouldn't mind if he drove a truck. Understandably, you can't move them, but a Peugeot 207.
Yeah, you could pop one of those on a skateboard and just shift it over a bit. Couldn't you?
Gav, I was just going to say that. No, but two of you can lift it.
Yeah. 3 strong men.
No, but you can push it aside. I don't know. But there's no need. As they're tarmacking around it, they must know.
No, they're just laughing.
They're just laughing.
And the reason they're laughing is because they know it won't be fixed.
Yeah.
It won't be sorted for another 6 months.
Imagine the guy comes along from the council. This is the sort of humour they've got. Imagine there's a guy comes along from a council and there's a traffic warden comes along and he thinks, right, you think that's bad? I'm going to put a ticket on it. Just terrible people. These are people we pay to look after us. They're thinking, go on, stick a ticket on. I dare you.
Radio X.
During that song, Big Si advised me not to get a push lawnmower. He said, they are exhausting. Thanks, Big Si.
#lad chat.
It wasn't really. You're so sexist. What, lawns are male, are they?
I thought you had fake grass in your garden.
No, I haven't.
Ah.
That's the house I lost. And I'd rather not talk about. To a sexist like Sunta and you.
Yeah.
Okay, every week I look for a... It's nicely bitchy, isn't it? Oh, it's rather a bitter little encounter. Hey, every week I'm looking for a new hobby. I can tell you now, it's not going to be a push lawnmower. No way. Instead, it could be dodgeball. James, how are you, mate? Are you good?
No, I'm very good, mate, yes.
And are you good through playing this hobby of yours, which is dodgeball?
Oh, yes, I'm very good. I love this sport.
Okay, I love the sport. How did you get involved in dodgeball?
I picked it up when I went to university in Bedfordshire, and that's now best part of 5 years ago.
Is it just like the film Dodgeball, or is this a British version?
Well, there's a strong British difference between the film, but there's a lot of similarities in terms of players and people, personalities, etc.
Okay, but is it roughly the same rules? And do you have to stick to the 5 Ds of dodge, duck, dive, dip, and dodge?
Well, you don't have to stick to them. You don't have to. I'm sure we could come up with some new ones.
So what are the rules, James? Come on, what are the rules?
Ultimately, you've got 3 balls on the court. As soon as you start, you rush into the middle from each side. You aim to get as many balls back to your team at the start, and then you throw at the other team.
Okay, a bit like we see in the film Dodgeball.
Absolutely, yeah.
Go on, son.
Does it hurt when you get hit by the ball?
Not at all. We play with a cloth ball here in the UK.
What's the point?
Sunta likes pain, for God's sake. If she's playing a game like that, Dr. Sunta Templeton wants a bit of edge.
Well, there's plenty of edge, trust me. Once you get on court against 6 other people and you've got balls flying at you, it comes off.
It kicks off, does it?
Does it kick off?
Well, it can do. It can do.
Okay, and I gather that England have been reigning European champions for the last 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, they've done pretty well to hold that title.
What is it about the English that makes us such a great dodgeball nation but not know it?
I think it's the personalities in the squad, personally.
Okay, Gav, your question.
Well, first of all, what is the drop dead?
Good call. It's the Sweden team, the Sweden Spectaculars.
Are they
Spectaculars?
Are they good? Are they like the old enemy? Are they?
They are. Well, they've never been an enemy at all. They're everybody's friends. They're the most social team you'll ever find in Europe.
Okay, and what do you mean by most social? What is it? What?
Most social. They're never too far from handing you a social beverage, maybe. Something like that.
That's so responsible of them.
That's the Swedes. And are they clothed? Are they always clothed, or do they play naked?
No, they play in string vests.
Do they?
Leather vest.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
they do, and short shorts. As you can imagine, yellow and blue.
Okay. Sorry, we didn't really establish what the move.
Yeah, what is the drop
What is
dead?
the drop dead?
So the drop dead, ultimately, the Sweden team haven't got too many fast runners, so they usually let the other team pick up the balls at the start of the game. And then as soon as the whole team are about to release at the Sweden players, they all drop backwards. And a drop-dead movement. It's awesome to see.
So they can gather up all the balls and have them themselves.
But what is the drop? What, do they all suddenly just flop down to the ground?
Yeah, they all fall backwards simultaneously.
That must look amazing.
One of them called Matt's Backs does a drop splits and cartwheel dodge.
Oh yeah, he's a stunning player. He considers himself more as the coach at the moment. He's kind of trying to retire the split.
Matt's back.
But Matt's back, the gentleman.
Oh, I love your appreciation of his
That's
beauty.
brilliant.
It's a beautiful thing. Listen,
Yeah.
James, I'll speak to you later. Really nice talking to you, matey. And thanks for coming on the show. You take care. And remember, dodge, duck, dive, dip, and dodge.
And drop dead.
And
Thank
drop
you,
dead.
John.
That's the
And
seven Ds. Cheers, matey.
Thanks, James.
Johnny Vaughan. Radio X.
Radio X.